Hey, how's it going? In this video, I want to talk about my three key takeaways from the second chapter of the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F. In one of my previous videos, I covered my key takeaways from the first chapter of the same book, but this one is about the second. So the first key takeaway is suffering is inevitable. Pain and loss are always standing at our doorstep. No matter how much we pursue happiness, pain, suffering, and loss will always come our way, and they're just a part of being a human in this world. We can't escape them. The society around us and social media especially make it seem as though happiness is directly proportional to how much money we make, and that is so not true. But the way they make things appear, they condition our minds. And so we tend to think that we cannot find happiness in the simple things in life. And we forget to be grateful, and we're always chasing highs and pursuing happiness. And so we end up doing the wrong things. And that is not good. And so it is important to come to terms with the fact that suffering is inevitable. So that's the first key takeaway. The second key takeaway is we suffer for the simple reason that suffering is biologically useful. It is true that suffering is biologically useful. Because imagine if there was something really hot in front of you and you touched it by mistake, accidentally, and you burned yourself and you felt an instant pain. And so imagine if that pain didn't exist. How would you know if touching the hot thing was wrong? And so we have pain is a feedback mechanism that is a part of our nervous system, which signals us about things we should do and shouldn't do to help ourselves learn about our body's limitations. In the same way, psychological pain and emotional pain work the same way. When we face fear or rejection or depression, when we become really sad about something, there's always a hidden message. Our nervous system is always trying to tell us, is always trying to indicate that we need to learn something from it. We need to take a moment and be aware of what exactly we're feeling and get to the root of it to understand where this pain is originating from. And when you do that, you learn something about yourself. So when you carry that lesson forward, you tend to not run into the same mistakes that make you feel those negative feelings. And so it is important for our body to have this feature that we experience pain physically and emotionally. So that was the second key takeaway. The third key takeaway is, reframing a question, asking better questions. So we always ask the question, what do you want out of life? And how many times have you heard people say things like, I just want to be happy. I just want to be peaceful. I just want to have a stress-free life. I want to be surrounded by nice people. I want to live in a good place, in a nice city, and I just don't want to worry about anything. I want to be financially independent. And you usually hear things along these lines. And so it's always about seeking pleasure, which is not wrong because that's just human nature. But how about we rephrase the way we ask this question? Instead of asking, what do you want out of life? Why not ask, what pain do you want in life? And what are you willing to struggle for? Because this is a bigger question. Why? Because this determines how our lives turn out. This is the question that ultimately defines us. The things that we are willing to struggle for, the things that we are willing to put our emotions and our mental and physical to the test, is what determines who we really are, is what determines is what shapes us as a human being. And so I think that's a bigger question to ask. And that's what I learned from the second chapter of this book. 3 things. Suffering is inevitable. Number 2, we suffer for the simple reason that suffering is biologically useful. And the third is rephrasing the question from what do you want out of life to what pain do you want in life and what are you willing to struggle for? Because this is what determines who we become in the future. This is what ultimately defines us. And so these are the key takeaways from the second chapter of this book. And so let me know if you were able to relate with any of these, and let me know if you've read this book, and I would love to hear from you. Put a comment in the comment section, and I would love to hear what you have to say. And I hope you're taking care of yourself, and hope you're staying healthy and drinking enough water. It's really hot, summertime. I'm glad that it's raining, and it cools down the temperature a little bit, and so it's a bit of a relief. But I'll talk to you soon.